In 1947, a chilling distress call echoed across the Strait of Malacca. A Dutch freighter called the SS Ourang Medan sent a message that would become one of the sea's most terrifying legends. The first signal was garbled, but operators deciphered enough to feel the chill. It read, "All officers including captain dead, lying in chart room and bridge, possibly whole crew dead." Moments later came a final burst of Morse code, just 2 words, "I die." Then silence. 2 American vessels, the Silver Star and the City of Baltimore, rushed to the coordinates. Under a blazing tropical sun, they found the Ourang Medan drifting silently. No smoke from the stacks, no one visible on deck. Only a heavy stillness that clung to the water. A boarding party climbed the gangway and stepped into a nightmare. Sailors lay sprawled on the deck, eyes open, mouths frozen mid-scream, arms extended as if fending something off. The heat was oppressive, but the bodies were cold, and yet there were no wounds or burns. Death had come without a sound. In the chart room, the captain and officers sat dead at their stations. Even the ship's dog lay stiff, teeth bared as if snarling at an unseen threat. The boiler room gauges read normal, but the atmosphere felt suffocating. Every face showed pure, unmistakable terror. The Silver Star's captain ordered a tow. Lines were made fast, but before the operation could begin, smoke curled from deep within the hull. The boarding party scrambled back to their own ship. Minutes later, the Ourang Medan erupted in a sudden explosion. Fireballs shot skyward, hurling metal fragments into the sea. The freighter broke apart and sank beneath the waves, taking its secrets with it. Nothing from the ship was ever recovered. For decades, researchers have tried to explain what happened aboard the Ourang Medan. Some believe it carried illegal chemical weapons, potassium cyanide or nerve gas left over from World War II, that leaked and killed the crew. But that theory doesn't explain the rictus expressions or the sudden fire. Others suggest a carbon monoxide leak or a malfunctioning boiler released deadly fumes. But again, no burns, and the "I die" message implies someone was alive long enough to transmit it. Some writers claim the crew witnessed something unnatural, UFOs, sea creatures, or a secret experiment, and died of fright. There is, of course, no evidence, only speculation. Skeptics argue the Ourang Medan never existed at all. Its name appears in few official records. Perhaps it was a seaman's tall tale repeated until it became legend. Newspaper accounts differ, and no wreck has ever been found. Each theory solves one part of the puzzle but leaves others unanswered. And that's what makes the Ourang Medan so chilling. There is no closure. Unlike the Mary Celeste, there are no court documents, no salvaged logbook, no wreck to examine. Just a radio transmission, a handful of stories, and decades of speculation. Picture it, a silent freighter adrift under a blistering sun, every crew member dead with eyes staring skyward, as if they'd all glimpsed something that should not be seen. 70+ years later, the legend of the SS Ourang Medan still floats in the collective imagination. A death ship that may never have sailed, or a real-life nightmare swallowed by the sea. What do you think happened aboard the Ourang Medan? Was it a deadly cargo, a supernatural force, or just a maritime myth? Some believe a clue lies in the ship's name itself. Ourang Medan translates loosely to "man from Medan," Medan being a port city on the Indonesian island of Sumatra. Could it have been a covert smuggling run from the chaos of post-war Asia, a ghost freighter carrying stolen weapons or contraband that went catastrophically wrong? Others point to strange parallels with other maritime mysteries. The Mary Celeste was found abandoned but intact. The Carol A. Deering ran aground with its crew missing. Yet in both cases there were court inquiries and salvage records. With the Ourang Medan there is only hearsay and a few 1948 newspaper clippings from Dutch and American papers, often quoting each other without any primary source. And then there's the detail of the explosion. Chemical cargo could indeed ignite spontaneously when seawater enters a hold, especially if unstable compounds or munitions were involved. But why would every crew member be on deck, eyes staring in terror before the blast? Why did even the dog die without a mark? Why was no distress signal logged officially? These inconsistencies are why the story endures. It's not just a ghost ship, it's a ghost ship with no paper trail. A phantom of the 20th century. It sits at the crossroads of maritime law, post-war secrecy, and folklore. A perfect breeding ground for conspiracy theories and paranormal speculation. Imagine yourself on that boarding party, sun glaring off metal, the smell of salt and oil, the heat of the boiler room under your boots. And everywhere you turn, stiffened bodies with mouths agape as if they'd all seen the same unspeakable thing. You run back to your own ship just in time to watch the freighter erupt and disappear beneath the waves. No evidence, no survivors. Only a story you'll tell for the rest of your life. That's the power of the Ourang Medan legend. It's a story designed to be retold, a warning, a puzzle, a ghost story dressed in modern clothes. A radio transmission, a drifting freighter, a crew frozen in terror, an explosion, then nothing. 75 years later, it still captures imaginations because it sits just close enough to reality to feel possible. Ships do drift, explosions do occur, people do smuggle dangerous cargo, and yet this particular case leaves a gap big enough for our minds to fill with monsters. So when you hear the legend of the SS Ourang Medan, you're not just hearing about a death ship, you're hearing about our fascination with the unknown, the way an unexplained event at sea can ripple for generations, spawning theories, books, and now videos like this one. Was it a chemical mishap, a government cover-up, or something stranger? Perhaps we'll never know. The Ourang Medan's wreck, if it existed, lies somewhere on the seabed of the Strait of Malacca, or perhaps never sailed at all. Until it's found, the legend will remain adrift, a ghost ship cruising eternally through our collective imagination. What do you believe happened aboard the SS Ourang Medan? Deadly cargo? Supernatural force? Or a maritime myth born from rumor and fear?